Hi, I'm Aurelia, and welcome to the Feminine Purpose Hub, redefining success from survive to thrive. This is the podcast where ambitious women and women leaders come to embrace their authentic power, live purposefully, and thrive on their own terms. We're here to break free from societal programming, redefine success, and explore the tools and practices that will help you step fully into your potential. Each episode, I'll bring you inspiring stories, transformative insights, and practical strategies to help you move from surviving to thriving. So if you're ready to take the next step in your journey, now is the time. Hit subscribe and join me in every episode. Let's thrive together. Hello and welcome back to this new episode of the Feminine Purpose Hub, redefining success from survive to thrive. Today, we are going to discuss the concept of balancing feminine and masculine energies. We'll look at what each energy represents, why balancing is actually really crucial, and how you can integrate both for a more harmonious and impactful life and career. Are you ready? Let's get started. So first, let's just discuss about what are feminine and masculine energies as such. Feminine energies are typically considered being more receptive, more nurturing, more intuitive, and more collaborative. It's also the space where you're going to have more creativity based on the fact that you're going to be more intuitive. So this is where we're calling out working with flow, just feeling ourselves being inspired, connecting with others, and then building on the relationship. So the things that typically should feel very natural, actually, when you're thinking about it. So that's really what we're discussing when we're talking about feminine energies. On the other side, we have the masculine energies. So the masculine energy are more action orientated. They are more logical, they're goal driven, they're assertive. So they're really what you're going to use when you need to be organized, when you need to take actions specifically to be able to realize, to achieve any goals. And that's where you're relying basically on taking inspired action. That's what you're going to do to make things concrete. Hello, and welcome to this new episode of Redefining Success, Move from Survive to Thrive. Today, we're going to talk about what it means to truly live in alignment with your purpose. I'll cover science of alignment and real life examples. So let's just get started. Have you ever felt like you're doing everything right, but something still feels off? That could be a sign of misalignment. So, for example, if you are feeling stuck, constantly exhausted, or unfulfilled, these are probably signs that you're really not feeling in alignment with your life at that moment. So, when I'm to give an example of what of feeling stuck, that could be, for example, that you are in a career right now, you're in a job, but you don't see any exit. That means that you don't see any way up. You don't see any way on the left or on the right, so you don't feel like you can move transversely. And on the side, you're just going to feel like you want to do something else. You're feeling bored. That could be a sign of not feeling in alignment. And that could extend further to your actual life, not only work, but for example, you want to change job, you want to take a risk, like build your business, start something new, but you cannot do it either, and you're feeling stuck because you just feel like you're scared. You're scared of taking the risk. Signs of exhaustion, of burning out as well, are also signs of not feeling in alignment. So let's say we often talk about burnout for working too much, but sometimes, and working too much would be also a sign of lack of living in alignment, by the way, because you wouldn't have work-life balance. But sometimes you're just feeling the burnout because you need to force yourself so much, and it takes so much energy for you to move forward and go and just do regular daily task, be it at work or at home, is basically you're burning out your energy. So that's another sign. And then there could be as well the gut feeling, the simple gut feeling of knowing this is not right for me. I feel like there's more for me. And I feel like I want to do I think I want to do something else because I am not happy right now. Out of the different things that you can be feeling, there are definitely different signs for different people. And there are actually ways to be able to identify the specific signs for you. But there are simply different things that can tell you. Like for me, I can also say boredom. Boredom is a big one. When I am in a job and the day feels so long or so slow, and then like I'm dying of boredom. Like I feel like I'm legit dying of boredom, and I'm thinking, what am I going to be able to do? Like, is it going to be like that every day? I could not project myself doing this the next day, the following month, and so on. Obviously, there were moments where with ups and downs, but deep down, I just knew that it was not a path for me. With using human design, I think the other thing that I managed to identify is bitterness. Is the moment where I get so bitter about people around me, about what I'm doing. I feel like I'm not recognizing myself because I have that sign of bitterness. So I'm a projector, if you know about human design, and that would be a sign that I am not also living in alignment. So these are, for example, some things that you can actually look into if you want to be wondering right now if you really want to have an audit of where you are standing. That could be a thing. And I know that at the moment where I really had that awakening, that feeling that I need to be doing something else. So I had an event in my life. I was going through a grieving process, and I started wondering, like, what am I doing? Like, why am I even here? There must be more than this, because I was doing a job that I was completely unfulfilled for, unfulfilled with, that I was so I was going through that job, and COVID was arriving actually as well. That was the very beginning of COVID, and I was far from my family, and I was wondering. I genuinely wondered. I had just lost my dad as the event that really triggered things for me, and I thought, why am I even here? Like, what am I doing this for? I'm not happy with my job. I don't know that that's what I want to do. I don't know why I'm so far from my family to achieve that. I just genuinely was confused and felt there must be more than this. That's something I wanted to explain and really first, tell you. Okay. That's something that I really wanted to cover because that's definitely the different signs that you can have not living in alignment. So regarding how things, like if I keep going with my example, I was mentioning, well, I was not happy. I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. There must be more than this. When I started to have that awakening, I started thinking, okay, so what can I do for myself? Is that what can I do to help myself? And I'm talking about it in previous episode, so I'm not going to dive again into this, but that was really my starting point. And I started searching for tools. And I think things actually started being in motion for me. Like I found a new job, enjoyed this very much more, developed a career in it. And and I think that's the thing that we want to figure out. What are the things that are working for in terms of being in alignment with my energy, so I'm not constantly exhausted just being, and as well, like what is aligned with my values. I think for sometimes I was in places where I was trying to fit in so hard, and that it was exhausting for me as well. Just that action of trying to fit in or trying to say, okay, I'm just going to do what is expected of me, or I'm going to try to do even more of what is expected of me. And this was just not working. It felt like trying to fit in a poorly fit dress. So I was really thinking, what, there's something wrong here. Where I want to go from here is simply the fact that once I started finding things that were working for me, be it uh, the change in my career in tech, going through the job that going to the job that I went when things started to feel a bit more aligned, things changed for me in terms of financial aspect of the team or how I was feeling on a daily basis. And it doesn't mean that everything was perfect all the time. And I think sometimes we do have that feeling that if there is alignment, if we're finding the purpose, if we have that sense of purpose, everything is always going to be perfect. It's not what it is. It's not only what it is, don't get me wrong, it is great, but it's mostly the fact as well that you're finding the resilience. So once you have that conviction that it's something that's working for you, that's something that you want to be successful at, then it will take learning, it will take time. Like even right now, if I'm talking about building a business, I didn't wake up one morning and say, okay, that's it, and everything just felt aligned. No, I learned about being a coach. I took certifications with an S. I studied astrology, I studied human design. I also had to learn more of the business aspect, the marketing, the tech side part of it, which was different of the tech side that I was doing in my job on a daily basis. But all of those things needed time to put it together, but then you have the resilience because you know you have the conviction that you're going to the right direction, and things start to fall into place at the right time as well. If I'm thinking of somebody else that I work with, by there was that woman that was absolutely brilliant. She had studied abroad. She had lived abroad. She was in a good job at that time, but she just felt like it wasn't right for her. She didn't like the environment where she was working. She really started to have the feeling that she was not, so she was still working abroad at that moment. She started feeling that that was not exactly where she wanted to be, so she wanted to move in another part of the world. Um, and she was just not sure what to do next. So I think when we started working together, there were different things that started falling in place for her as well. And yes, she moved, she found another job in another part of the world. And after that, um, and then because she was working on her personal development, um, so she had a lot. She was interested in spirituality. She was interested in developing herself in coaching, and she started exploring these areas as well. And when we were working together, she was also thinking of everything related to putting forward or valuing more exactly the local communities in the Caribbean, to just basically show off the culture and value it, and for it to bring benefits in to be benefits to the local communities. So I think there are different things that she wanted to explore, and she did not do it right away. So that the first step was to move abroad, and then she started implementing different things, studying more of the personal development side, trying to work with local entrepreneurs. And these are things that she built up and that she keeps building up, and that is giving her a greater sense of purpose on a daily basis. So, and as well, she realized that she not only did want to move like to another part of the world, but really like she wanted to get to be at home. So that's the life that the lifestyle that she enjoyed. So that's what she's done as well. No more expat lifestyle for her. So that's different things that really you have to explore and that you will explore when you are trying to live in alignment, when you're finding your sense of purpose. You just find that resilience and that conviction, and then after that, you just go through the path that you're meant to be. And it's a path. I think we need to realize, I think it's important to realize that the sense of purpose is not only once you get there, it's the path that takes you there, it's the path that you keep developing after that. If you're thinking of the people that you're admiring, be it entrepreneurs or artists. It's not only I've released music, I've been in a movie, I've created that company and things are done. No, there are that building up. It's basically that capacity and that willingness to sometimes face failures, but also mostly face the success. Like the successes are going to be more numerous when you are on your path of purpose, and then you just feel more confident that you just need to keep going even if there are times. So what I want to invite you to do, if you are at that stage of your life where you want to take actionable steps and increase your sense of purpose and finding your path to alignment, there are just some simple exercises that you can start with. So, for example, reflect on activities that make you feel energized versus the activities that are making you feel drained. What is it that you particularly enjoy? So, for example, let's say you really enjoy painting, and it's not a job, that's not your job, and that's not what you're doing as a living, but you particularly enjoy painting. If you're doing more of that on a daily basis and that you're trying to increase it, potentially, even if it's not because you're going to become a painter on a daily basis, you're just going to become a painter as a living, potentially you're just going to get more energized, more inspired, and you're going to, and if you know that you're liking that feeling, you're just going to be like, when you're going to get to a place or something, then you're thinking, okay, that's not the feeling I have when I'm painting, when I'm feeling inspired, when I'm feeling energized. I want more of that feeling when I'm painting and less of what I'm feeling today. Let's say, for example, if versus being in a very creative position, a very creative job, you're in a very administrative job, maybe you're going to start feeling, okay, maybe I want to do something where I'm feeling more creative on a daily basis. Maybe this is more of me, and you can take actions towards that. And let's say the other thing think can be interesting is to also try to find out your values. What are your values? What are your passions? What are the things that really matters to you? So let's take back the example of you like painting, but you're doing an administrative job. It might as well also be that value of the company that you're working with are actually aligned with the things that are important for you. So maybe you don't need to actually change company. Maybe you need to just change job. And then maybe you can put things in motion for that. Talk to people, try to explore a bit what are the other options. Doing shadow days. So that can be something that you can do. I'm really encouraging you to do some journaling and think about these things. So, what makes me feel energized? That's just what makes me feel trained. What are my values? What are the things that are really important for me? And the other thing that you can do is also trying to imagine, like, in the best situation, where do I want to be? What do I want to do? And don't put yourself any limits into it. Just imagine, what do you want to do and where do you want to be in the best situation, if you're in the best situation, in the best position possible, and just go and journal about it. So if this resonated with you, let me know in the comments. If you have as well any experiences that you would like to share, if you have any questions, please just let me know in the comments. I would be more than happy to read about you. And until then, I will see you in the next episode. Thank you so much for joining me today.